Good morning, everybody. It's Squid. Welcome back to the channel. How is everybody doing this morning? Morning, Karen. How are you? Oh my goodness. We're about to get into this, and we're about to get into this super quick. I started a little bit early this morning because girls got a busy day. I'm working on filling out paperwork right now, or filling out some. If you know, you know. And I have a lot of appointments today and a couple of meetings that if I don't take these meetings when I take them, if I don't take these meetings now, I'm probably never going to get another one. So it's kind of take it while you can. The downside is I have less time to spend with y'all. So we're just going to get straight into it, barely getting the day started, 6:47 a.m. I went to sleep at like 8:30 last night. Your girl got 10 and a half hours of sleep. So we're a little bouncing off the walls with like energy this morning. It's weird. I love it, but it's weird. Which is I need energy today because we have a lot to do. I have already had the vacuum cleaner going. The little robot vacuum cleaner. I've vacuumed what it didn't get. I've cleaned the floors in every room but my room, the master bathroom, and the master closet. It's insane this morning. I've done a load and a half of laundry. There's a load in the dryer and a load in the washer. I've done a load of dishes. I've made breakfast for myself and the little, mostly the little. I've written like 4 checks to people. I've paid bills. We are having a hella busy but productive day. I have to run out of town for a little bit. Oh, you're in California. And thank you, Unghung Hero, for the $2 super chat. More Baldoni content. Yeah. And never trust a guy with the name Baldo in his name. It's been crazy busy. So we are going to get straight into this now that I am done with what I was doing. We are looking at Justin's complaint. Not a counterclaim, but an entirely new complaint. Good morning, Christine. How are you doing today? It's good to see you. All right. So here's the thing with Justin Baldoni. It's basically, and I had to bring it up. It was already up, but I have so many windows open that I had to like figure out where I was. I also had to restart my computer this morning because even though the little and I have been productive, Mr. Squid's at work, my computer was not productive and required to be restarted this morning. It was not cooperating with everything. Part of my army training means I earn expert badges in broom, mop, and buffer. Yeah. If you've ever ridden an electric floor buffer, you might be in the Navy. I have expert quals in those too. Which is why I don't know, like for some reason, I don't know if this is my dad that instilled this in me or if it's the Navy that did it, but if the floor is clean, no matter if everything else looks like shit, if the floor is clean, I'm having a good day. Like the floor needs to be clean and my mind is at ease. So with this, we are going to kind of skip, because this is 179 pages and we all know how that worked. So it's basically everybody that she sued. And we're going to skip the parts where it describes who these people are and where they operate because it's no different than in the last complaint and we already read it. So I am for reading new documents, but I am not for reading the same shit twice. So this is not only, if you remember the last lawsuit, Blake's lawsuit, Blake was the only plaintiff. So you have all of these plaintiffs, which is basically everybody he sued or she sued. And now you have Blake as defendant, also defendant, Ryan Reynolds, Leslie Sloan, and Vision PR Inc., a Newark corporation. This is where it's about to get juicy because now we see what his version of events are. All right, so this is plaintiffs, describing the plaintiffs, which we already read. Leslie Sloan, Vision PR, New York Corporation, alleged as follows. The following is not a story plaintiffs ever wished to tell. Unfortunately, defendants, Blake Lively, has unequivocally left them with no choice, only to set their record straight in response to Lively's accusations, but also to put a spotlight on the parts of Hollywood that they have dedicated their careers to be an antithesis. That task was always going to be an uphill battle. They never imagined that they would encounter it to this degree. I'm already liking this. Had Lively chosen to merely ride out the self-inflicted press catastrophe she faced in August of 2024, the public would have likely moved on and never have known the truth about her. I love tea being spilled. Spill the tea, Justin. Spill the tea. And I do apologize for my coughing. The humidity has kicked up a notch here lately, and also the pollen. So I am back on my allergy medication, which is helping a little. However, it only goes so far. Yeah, it only does so much. They would have never have known that she deliberately and systematically robbed plaintiffs Justin Baldoni and Wayfarer Studios of their movie. No one except the parties involved would have known that she used threats and extortion to relegate the colleagues she once highly praised to a basement sit-out on their own picture. Oh, their own premiere. They were in a basement. This is the stuff I've heard about, but I don't believe what is in the media until I see it in a document, which is why we're reading the documents first. Oh. While she enjoyed the spotlight of a premiere and after party that was ultimately co-financed by both Wayfarer and Sony, she would have gotten away with these things and more because Baldoni, focused entirely on seeing the film succeed, would have held his tongue. And he had, through the year and a half, Lively tormented him, his family, and his partners. Oh, oh my goodness. Yeah. Perfect place to relocate all of Hollywood. Snake Island. They can be with their own kind. Yes, Snake Island for you all. Oh. Oh, but Lively could not tolerate her publicly tainted image for even a moment, and further could not accept that it was entirely of her own making. She needed a scapegoat. Good morning, Captain Kern. How are you doing this morning? Oh, and thanks for everybody who joined me for my members only stream yesterday. That was a very personal stream to me, but it's also getting back to why I started my channel. Getting back to why I do this, not only to make fun of Hollywood, because who doesn't want to make fun of Hollywood? It's so freaking easy to do, but also to advocate, because I went through a personal battle of having to advocate for myself and being gaslit for years, that everything was all in my head. It was all fake. None of this was actually happening, to find out that the only treatment for my condition was brain surgery. Which less than 1% of the population has what I had. So that's also why when things happen, and the minute I feel like I'm being gaslit, I'm like, oh, fuck this shit, I'm out. Because I'm not going to sit by when someone gaslights me anymore. Because I did that for at least 3 years of my life, not doing that shit anymore. Hey, Marcus, how are you this morning? Oh, you're fine. You're fine, Flash fan. We did a members only Kiari journey story. So you're fine. I ain't mad. I am mad. It was kind of a last minute, like, we're gonna make this members only, because I haven't done much members only stuff in a while. So we yeah. Technically speaking, it was in your head. Technically speaking, it was not, because your brain is supposed to remain inside your skull. Mine did not. 7.5 millimeters of my brain was not in my skull. It was, it was not in my skull. We're just going to leave it at that. It was falling out because it was too big. My skull was too small. But I really wish that they would have given me the piece of skull that they took and never gave back. I would have really liked to put that on my shelf because I am that obsessed with anatomy and physiology that I think that shit would be cool. So, Ong Hong Hero, thank you for the 5 gifted Squid Pro Quo memberships. Let's see if I can see who they went to because I never opened my studio. Tambla Key, Carrie Met. Oh, I'm going to mess that up. Ashley, Patty Sewell, and Benny Truth. Welcome to the Squid Squad, y'all. You got forced to be members. Hope y'all enjoy yourself. And I promise I will be doing at least, because Thursdays are bad days to stream in the morning. I will be doing at least probably a members only on Thursday afternoons. Good morning. I'm 16 from 9. Yay! Only 16 from 9. That's awesome. If y'all haven't subscribed to 3 Awesome Dogs, you really should. If you want to see the cutest puppy in the world, along with his other 2 cute doggies. But the puppy makes it like the icing on the cake lately. All right, we are going to get back into this. Oh, no, Hung Hero, I appreciate you. Thank you for making sure that I don't read this for free this morning. And kind of makes up for all of these that I'm writing today. Fun times. She needed a scapegoat, and rather than admit and take accountability for her own mishaps, she chose to blame plaintiffs in a malicious and unforgivably public manner. When she and Reynolds could not force Baldoni and Wayfarer to read a statement, she and her representatives prepared, extorting them to take accountability in defense of Lively's actions. She lay in wait for months, preparing to publicly attack Baldoni by falsely claiming that he had harassed her. The same falsified stories she had calculatingly devised and used throughout the production of this film in order to take control were now being used publicly to destroy Baldoni and plaintiffs. I'm not sure what she's watching, but I am going to turn her volume down. I will be back in a hot second. There we go. Thank you. Yes, Flash fan, could you drop 3 Awesome Dogs link, please? Lively stole Wayfarer's movie, hijacked Wayfarer's premiere, destroyed plaintiffs' personal and professional reputations and livelihood, and aimed to drive plaintiffs out of business entirely. It further appears that Lively worked for months with the... Why'd you lock it, boo? Oh. That's mine. This one was great grandpa's for you. It further appears that Lively worked for months with the equally powerful New York Times to prepare a false and damaging narrative to deploy against plaintiffs. Not surprisingly, Lively prepared an administrative complaint with the Civil Rights Department in California, the CRD complaint, in an attempt to use the litigation privilege to shield her behind-the-scenes conspiracy with the New York Times. But upon information and belief, the CRD complaint was filed only after defendants spent months feeding falsehoods to the New York Times, intending that they be disseminated to damage plaintiffs. Angel, and she's obsessed with FaceTiming her grandfather. Oh. So, hold on. We will see. If he doesn't answer, he's probably at work, okay? He's probably working, baby. So if he doesn't answer, it's okay. She gets angry when people don't answer. Hello. He answered. Hold on a second. Fun times. There we go. Sorry, I had to answer or talk to my dad for a second. Upon information and belief, the CRD complaint was filed only after defendants spent months feeding falsehoods to the New York Times, intending that they be disseminated to damage plaintiffs. Lively delivered the CRD complaint to plaintiffs over the Christmas holiday, and rather than promptly file a lawsuit, Lively, on information and belief, leaked the typically private CRD complaint to the public, utilizing the New York Times as a conduit for her revenge. Ooh, conduit for revenge. That is, that's an, I'm liking the way this is written. It's very like, I'm going to spill the tea. But in a professional, it's like telling you to go F yourself with a smile on your face. It's like, I'm going to write this super professional while I'm just saying F you, F you, F you, F you, F you for 100 pages. Like, I'm kind of liking this. It's very petty, but in the professional way. Randy, take note. The CRD complaint, and upon information and belief, the false information delivered to the New York Times before the CRD complaint was filed was rife with lies and doctored evidence. Lively then waited 11 days to file suit against plaintiffs in what seemed to be a desperate move after the public questioned why she had never filed a civil lawsuit. On information and belief, Lively never intended to file a civil lawsuit, which would have triggered plaintiffs' right to discovery. There's that. There's this everybody's favorite, or my favorite word in a lawsuit. I like discovery because discovery is the tea. I like tea being spilled. It is fun to expose people. Like, conduit for revenge sounds much better than pull them up in YouTube content. I know, right? Bruce, take note. Bruce, if you want to be a dick, but still be professional about it and not have people question your intelligence, read this. I am not sure who wrote this. I did not skip to the end of the page. I didn't read the last page first. But this is very, so far, we're only 3 pages in, and this is this is some excellent writing. This lawyer, I'm assuming, is probably over $1,000 an hour, because that's what you get when you pay, when you pay $1,000 an hour or more for a lawyer, you get Alec Baldwin's lawyers, who found the loophole in the law to get him acquitted of unaliving somebody. So that is true. Captain Kern, very good point. Wow. Including obtaining evidence and deposing Lively under oath. I'm assuming in the California or in the CRD complaint, you don't depose people because it's only a complaint. It's not an actual lawsuit, no depositions. It's basically, this is what happened to me and do something about it. And California, being California, ain't going to do shit about it. Hey, Aunt Sarah, how are you doing? Haven't seen you in a few days. Just wondering, hope you're doing well. When you pay... Yes. And this is also where when you read a document and it reads easy. Yes, some of the words don't flow off the tongue, but that's a me problem, not a lawsuit problem. And you talk about the contents and how the contents are important. You don't talk about how it's written. You don't talk about run-on sentences. Like, yeah. I used to insult customers when I was an IT admin. They never knew it. It was great. Oh my goodness. Yeah, is it the one from Hulu that just came out a few weeks ago? Yeah. Including deposing Lively under oath. By the time Lively actually filed a lawsuit against plaintiffs, the damage to plaintiffs was done by virtue of Lively's months of colluding with the New York Times on a false and malicious narrative, unshielded by any privilege. Make no mistake, these actions were deliberate. Oh, that statement right there. That is fire. Fire. I've seen it advertised on my TV. I just don't, like when I open up my TV and the main screen comes up, I've seen it advertised. I just don't have Hulu. Plaintiffs now have no choice but to fight back armed only with the truth and a mountain of concrete evidence disproving Lively's allegations. Heartbreakingly, a film that Baldoni envisioned years ago would honor the survivors of domestic violence by telling their story, with the lofty goal of making a positive impact in the world, has now been overshadowed beyond recognition solely as a result of Lively's actions and cruelty. This was my thing. Regardless, this is why I hated everybody involved in this situation, not just Blake Lively. This right here. Honor the survivors of domestic violence. Like, this movie is about it at its heart, DV. Like, whether it's an empowering story of a female overcoming something, whatever. The central to this story is DV and the survivor of DV. So you're making a movie that is supposed to be about something negative that turns into a positive, an awful thing, and now overshadowed by a bunch of drama. See, and here's my issue with a whole bunch of shit. With when you have so much drama involved in a topic, like all these lawsuits overshadowing the movie, because I've never seen the movie, and now I really have no desire to see the movie because of all this drama. When you have outside drama, it impacts how a lawsuit is seen. When you have a bunch of people that their whole goal in life is to create drama, and if you know, with the other topic that not really talking about today, but yeah, when there's more drama outside of the topic than in the topic, we have a problem, because then the actual heart of the issues and the important shit that needs to be heard and seen gets overshadowed by the bullshit. That's one of the reasons that I don't talk about all the bullshit with the other case, and all the behind the scenes crap, because it, at the end of the day, it overshadows the actual issue. Like, because all that, who's talking about who and when they're talking and all of that, like this side versus this side, and like he said, she said, or they said on their podcast this, they said on their podcast this. The only people that need to be involved are the 5 people. One of which who is too young to speak for themselves. So all these lawsuits have overshadowed the fact that the movie was about DV and a survivor of DV. And although I think Justin is a beta male, I think that statement is impactful. Lively wields immense power as one of the world's best-known celebrities. In 2024, she used that power to seize control of the film It Ends With Us. The film, produced by and co-financed by plaintiff Wayfair and directed by Baldoni, who also portrayed the lead, Ryle. She set out to destroy the plaintiff's livelihoods and business if they did not bend to her incessant demands when they refused to give way. What do you need, baby? Do you want ice? Okay, I will be back. I have to get her an ice cube. She just comes by me and is pointing at the pointing at the door like we need to use words. Hello. Our obsession lately is those reusable ice cubes. She loves to just like hold them next to her face, suck on them. Like she just likes the reusable ice cubes. They're her thing these days. It's Friday. I have to work tomorrow. Instead of next Tuesday, we have an event on Monday that we have to fix up for. So it's gonna be a good weekend. All right. She set out to destroy plaintiffs' livelihoods and business if they did not bend to her incessant demands, and when they refused to give way, she did exactly that, accusing them of foul and reprehensible misconduct. And there are certain words in this that I will not say, just because I don't want to get yeeted off of YouTube. Plus, if y'all followed me reading the other lawsuit, it sort of read like a softcore romance novel that was frankly uncomfortable to read at times. Wayfarer was blindsided when Lively, upon the conclusion of the industry strikes, refused to return to production absent the companies agreeing to her non-negotiable protections for return to production that insinuated misconduct had occurred during filming, which, as evidence will establish, did not. So here's my question from their side, and y'all can give me your input on this. But so did they agree to those protections for return to production just to be like, okay, here, you get what you got, you get what you want, let's finish this film? Because if they would not have agreed to it, she never would have finished the film, and that would have been a waste of millions and millions and millions of dollars. There's one way to look at it instead of, well, they agreed to it, because if they wouldn't have agreed to it, she wouldn't have finished the film and they would have just wasted a whole bunch of fucking money. Ooh, you'll be at a concealed carry class all day tomorrow and qualification on Sunday. That sounds like fun. That either sounds like fun, or you get a bunch of people who have never touched a weapon before and it's like, oh, great, this is going to be fun. Sarcastic fun. Wayfarer was equally blindsided when Lively leveraged this document, essentially signed under duress, to seize control of the film, ultimately getting her own cut of the film and coveted PGA mark, and at her command, ousting Baldoni from all marketing and promotional efforts with many of the cast and the author, all of whom he, until then, had a long-standing positive relationship with. Lively's exclusion of Baldoni from the promotion of the film backfired as she chose to callously promote her hair care and alcoholic beverage products rather than bring attention to survivors of domestic violence. The entire premise of the film, Baldoni, now prohibited from attending events or taking photos with Lively and the cast, promoted the film as he had always intended. Ever since he began the process of making the film years ago. Ooh. I'm pet sitting. If you ever sheepadoodle walk or run, it's hilarious. Or sits like a, ooh, that sounds hilarious and adorable at the same time. Wow. When Lively faced significant public backlash from what was often referred to as her tone-deaf and insensitive press tour for the film, she doubled down on her false and misleading accusations against Baldoni. She seemed determined to make Baldoni the real-life villain in her story. Her publicist, Leslie Sloan, went so far as to propagate malicious stories portraying Baldoni as a predator, a term Lively's husband, Ryan Reynolds, also used to describe Baldoni when he called Baldoni's own agent. Modern society just reviles essay. Yes, and Lively knew full well that making those allegations would be a career death sentence for plaintiffs, especially given that Baldoni has lived in his private and public life and is an impassioned advocate for gender equality and healthy masculinity. Yes, baby.
Yay!
You have one. Girl, this is my phone. This is my phone. Okay, fine. She leaves me hers that's like only set up for YouTube, hooked on phonics, music, and FaceTiming grandpa and daddy, and left me with that one and took mine. This is how this is going to go. I will try to remember and send you a vid or pic of the cuteness. That would be appreciated. Thank you. I don't, that name just sounds hilarious, but I don't recognize it. No, we're not FaceTiming Grandpa again. You just FaceTimed Grandpa. You just FaceTimed Grandpa, baby. You just did. You just FaceTimed Grandpa. She was obsessed with FaceTiming Grandpa. Like, Grandpa, because my mom comes over here, so she's not as obsessed with FaceTiming her as Shia. Nice try, Flash fan. Nice try, buddy. Especially given that Baldoni has lived his private and public life as an impassioned advocate for gender equality and healthy masculinity. He's been a beta male and a feminist simp. Let's put it in real terms here. She did not expect, however, that plaintiffs would be able to meet those allegations with concrete documentary evidence disproving her claims and demonstrating that they, not Lively, were the targets of a calculated and vitriolic smear campaign. That evidence, included in part herein, is the basis for plaintiffs' claims against defendants for their extortion, defamation, and further wrongdoing. She just FaceTimed him. He had to go. Like, she was just on the phone with him. They hung up, and she comes to me and wants to do it again. The film was the hotly anticipated adaptation of a worldwide best-selling book by Colleen Hoover, and by starring in it as Lily, Lively stood to enhance her already considerable star power. But she was not content to merely headline one of the year's biggest movies. Instead, apparently driven by overweening ambition and need for control, footnote 1. Oh, I love footnotes. Lively eventually leveraged her power as a wealthy celebrity to wrest the reins from her co-star and the film's director, Baldoni, insisting on total control over every aspect of the film she could get her hands on, from wardrobe to marketing strategy to music, even creating her own cut of the film. Not only did Lively's power cost numerous people their jobs, but at every turn, her wrong-headed creative decisions reflected her fundamental lack of understanding of the book the film was based on. This came as no surprise to her worried colleagues, given that, even well into production, Lively had not even read the book. How do you make a movie based on a book when you haven't read the book? Footnote 1. In an early meeting with Baldoni, Lively foreshadowed what was to come, stating, "I'm afraid you have too much power," referencing Baldoni's dual role as producer and director. This statement made an early impact on Baldoni, who felt compelled to reassure her that the relationship would be collaborative and went above and beyond to make it so. This was not an invitation to sideline him and his producing partners. Interesting. But this I have a problem with her on a personal level. How do you make a movie about a book when you've not even read the book? Like, I understand movies are different than books. Even, you read the Harry Potter novel and watch the book. It's the 700-ish page book into a 3-hour movie. Like, things are going to have to be changed. But, like, you have to read the book in order to know what you're making the movie about. September 14th, 2023, text message from Baldoni to Heath that we are rooting for her to fulfill after rereading the book, which had 150 pages to build their relationship. We have combed scenes and to heighten the stakes for Ryle in pursuit of Lily, utilizing humor and his desire to sleep with her. While I understand Blake's reasons for not wanting to read the book does a very good job in getting Lily in Lily's mind during her interactions with Ryle and setting up the why behind her attraction to him, which ultimately helps us understand why she stays in the end. I mean, it's a, you know, oh no, oh no, oh no. Here we go. How can we have 37 minutes left. How many times can you derail me in 37 minutes? It's not a challenge. It's just a statement. Lively's disastrous marketing efforts and tone-deaf press interviews and appearances backfired and led to widespread criticism of Lively's promotional approach to the film's highly sensitive focus on DV. Past videos of Lively resurfaced online, videos that appeared to solidify public perception that Lively was an insensitive mean girl who cared more about peddling her products than acknowledging the domestic violence survivor community. Social media commenters quickly pointed out that her tie-in of her alcohol beverages was in particularly poor taste. Given the World Health Organization's estimates that 55% of DV incidents are linked to alcohol, I mean, that is hindsight being 2020, poor choice of actions. Unbelievably, Lively made this harmful and irresponsible message worse by naming a drink at the premiere after party, While You Wait, after the character who committed DV in the film. The suggestion that Wayfarer caused the online backlash against her is absurd, given the evidence of her own insensitivity. Yeah, they left that out in the original complaint, or in Lively's complaint. Footnote 2, Lively later claimed she read the book, but text evidence shows that well into production she had not, and in fact expressed she had chosen not to read the book. She even tried to Google the color of her character's hair rather than pick up the book. If that's true, that's awful. Sadly, this backlash could have been avoided had she not refused to meet with the film's DV partner organization, nomore.org, as Baldoni had offered. So this is my issue with her, and that quote of her when someone asked her what they should do if they're involved in a DV issue, and she had mentioned, "What do you want me to do? Give you my personal phone number?" No, you give them this website. You give them that website, and you tell them, go here and get resources. Like, you don't be a smartass. There is a time and a place to be a sarcastic bitch, but this is not one of them. Like, morning, 81. How are you? Even a brief visit to their website or a simple online search would have readily uncovered this and other information on the topic of DV. Meanwhile, Baldoni, whom Lively herself had ensured was excluded from participating in her marketing efforts, was safeguarded from this backlash as he focused on amplifying the voices of those affected by DV. As originally intended when he reached out to author Colleen Hoover 5 years earlier, and documented 5 years earlier and documented by his partnership with nomore.org dating back to 2022. Baldoni's sincere efforts were well received, even more so in contrast with Lively's campaign to downplay the premise of the film and sell hair care and alcohol products. Yep. No, this is Baldoni and all the people who she had sued and named as defendants in her suit. This is their own document. This is their own case where they not only sue Blake Lively, but Ryan Reynolds, Blake's publicist, and the PR firm. So this is Baldoni's lawyer writing this. And so far this is very well written, easy to read, and brings up all the points that I had problems with in her suit, and some of the things that I've seen in the media, which we will get to. Um, it's like you can't downplay the fact that DV is the premise of the film, and like just to the alcohol thing. Like, okay, you want to put your hair care line. Do you notice in the original or in Blake's complaint, they mentioned the fact that her hair care line was coming out that week. They never mentioned, they failed to mention, and this is why it's important to get both sides of the story and you might get a full picture of what's going on. They failed to mention that she was also promoting alcohol at the premiere of a DV film, which, as they put in here, they 55, according to the World Health Organization, in this is not my quote, this is theirs, 55% of DV incidents are linked to alcohol. So you are at the premiere and doing publicity, sorry, English is hard, for a DV film while promoting alcohol? That just seems really shady to me. This is just awful, in my opinion. Meanwhile, all right. Lively, enraged that her plans were foiled and armed with proof of alleged harassment in the form of a 17-point list of demands she had required plaintiff to sign just months earlier, focused her rage on Baldoni, blaming him for the consequences of her own missteps. Meanwhile, Stephanie Jones, founder of Jones Works LLC, Wayfarers, and Baldoni's erstwhile PR firm, was embroiled in a personal and professional crisis. Her increasingly erratic behavior had driven away not only high-profile clients, but also her right-hand woman, plaintiff Jennifer Abel, who oversaw the Jones Works Los Angeles office. Jones's behavior grew more and more bizarre as she lashed out at loyal clients like Wayfarer in rage-filled rants and veered away from professional experience and strategy when making critical decisions affecting Jones Works clients. After a final outburst against Wayfarer in which she outright refused to comply with their direct instructions, Wayfarer had no choice but to cut ties with Jones and Jones Works rather than leave their public image in the hands of what appeared to be an out-of-control Jones, whose actions were not aligned with Wayfarer and Baldoni's worldview and wishes. Jones was filled with impotent rage at Wayfarer and at Abel, who a month before had announced her decision to leave Jones Works to form her own company. Jones saw an opportunity for revenge. She took it. On information and belief, Jones, Lively Reynolds, and Leslie Sloan, Lively's publicist, and others concocted a plan whereby Jones would seize Abel's phone upon her departure, footnote 3, and mine it for messages that stripped of context could be used to concoct a false narrative that the disastrous press coverage of Lively's callous and opportunistic comments and the public reaction to those comments were not Lively's fault at all. That is interesting because we saw all those text messages in the last lawsuit, but it was like, where did you get these from? Oh, you seized her phone. Oh my goodness. You seized her phone. I'm just not this one. I would personally have to take a shot of tequila to watch this movie because I just don't handle those situations well. They enrage me. They enrage me to see certain things. I guess you could say they trigger me. Whatever. I just choose not to watch stuff like that. But yes, I would probably need a shot of tequila with no chaser as a to watch this movie. Oh my goodness. This is just but the result of a calculated, though in reality non-existent, smear campaign by Baldoni and his team. On information and belief, Jones's role in the scheme accounts for her conspicuous absence from Lively's retelling of events. Yeah, the fact that Jones wasn't mentioned really at all in the other the lawsuit. It's funny what is It is funny what is left out. I'm hoping that this gets thrown out, but the judge has already said, based on them going back and forth in the media, that he moved up the trial timeline. So we will see that, but before that, we had to get through all the what was said on either side. So plaintiffs are informed and believe that defendants have been working in concert since at least August 21st of 2024, when Sloan boasted to Nathan that she had seen her text and that Nathan would soon be sued. Though Lively claimed Baldoni was the one smearing her, the reality it was Lively and her team who carefully planned and implemented a vile smear campaign against Baldoni and Wayfarer to deflect attention and blame for Lively's disastrous misjudgments. Lively would recast herself as the long-suffering murderer by portraying Baldoni and Wayfarer as her persecutors, the masterminds behind a smear campaign that evidence will show did not exist. Defendant Sloan of Vision PR was all too willing to carry out this strategy, especially once armed with ammunition by Jones, who was bent on revenge against her ex-employee and former client. Footnote 3. While it is not entirely uncommon to request that an exiting employee return company property, it is not often the case that personal phones, phone numbers, and communications are seized, made public, and weaponized against the employee and the company's own clients. That's a good point. All the people that came here as refugees, which if their homes are being rebuilt with all that money, go home. Like, go home. And why come here when there's all of Europe to go to? I mean, since Ukraine is technically a European country, like, go to Europe. Why did you come here? I agree with certain people coming here that had family here, but just to come here and fly thousands of miles when there's like countries like 500 miles from you that you could have gone to and been safe. Just a thought. Just a thought. Yeah, the media just trying to No. Yeah. Here's Flash fan. Here's the thing. The people that are saying he doesn't like diversity don't tell you that Ukraine is mostly, if not all, white. I have technically, my family is from that area of the world, like my family history. Like, he says these are the people that also tell you white people don't have culture. So the same people that are telling you white people don't have culture are telling you that he's sending Ukrainians back because he doesn't like diversity. Those two things cannot be true at the same time. Like, you can't be diverse, call white people of a different culture diverse, but then also say white people don't have culture. Like, you can't have those two. They just don't go together. Those two just don't go together. It's like either you're lying when you say that, or you're completely stupid. And my guess is they're lying, because nobody's that stupid. Like, there's a reason there's Italian food. There's a reason there's like German food, Finnish food. Like, I have a Finnish cookbook. Like, there is a reason that German people, generally white, Finnish people, generally really, really white, have different cultures. Still white. Yeah, that's not true. I know that people that's not African American who love fried chicken. Right here. Chicken and waffles is probably my favorite meal if done correctly. There's a couple places where I've had chicken and waffles and I'm like, I could have made this shit better at home. Like, what'd you use? Frozen waffles? But chicken and waffles, best meal ever. Typically associated with a certain race, but it's just food. Shortly after the film's premiere and the public backlash against Lively, together with her husband, defendant Ryan Reynolds, demanded through their talent agency, which also represented Wayfair and Baldoni, that plaintiffs publicly apologize for so-called mistakes during production in order to deflect the avalanche of negative media coverage of Lively. Reynolds and Lively drafted a statement to demand that Baldoni, Wayfair, and Heath issue a statement requiring them to apologize to the public and fall on their sword, despite having done nothing wrong, or else the gloves would come off. Multiple WME executives. I hate WME. I've hated WME since I heard their name in Coyote Ugly back in like 2000. Acknowledged that in their experience, Lively and Reynolds' threats were not to be taken lightly, though admitting to false, vague, and unspecified mistakes would be tantamount to admitting to career-ending misconduct. Baldoni, Wayfair, and Heath refused to apologize for sins they had never committed. They took a stand knowing full well that Lively and Reynolds would bring the full might of their celebrity artillery against them, and that is precisely what happened. Oof. Portugal is a fun place. Portugal is fun. Yeah, the guy who has NAACP awards and has been around diversity in his company for decades doesn't like diversity. Tell me more. Yeah, that's the. Here we go. I've officially been adopted. WME is William Morris Enterprise. It's a it's basically a talent agency. It's who I think WME signed Meghan Markle and Harry. Yeah, and I have to talk to certain British people about taking them fuckers back because we don't want them here. Like, Lively, working with her husband, her publicist, Ann Jones, among others, set out on a campaign to tar and feather plaintiffs in the press. They conspired and worked in concert with the New York Times to put out a blockbuster news report as devastating as it was false. They advanced a fabricated narrative in the press that plaintiffs had harassed Lively and then embarked on a calculated and malicious smear campaign to destroy her reputation as retaliation for daring to complain about the harassment. Defendants laid their trap carefully over a period of months before springing it all at once on the eve of the winter holidays. Just as plainly, they knew full well what their claim that their claims were entirely baseless because their own wrongfully obtained evidence proved that neither the alleged harassment nor the accompanying smear campaign against Lively ever existed. Yeah. I haven't. Thank you. I shower twice a day, generally speaking. Yeah. I'm not a huge fan. But I also don't like I don't like oatmeal. I don't like cream of wheat. I don't like any of that stuff. So I barely like rice. So I don't like grits, but my mom does. My mom is a huge grits person. And so is Mr. Squid. Whenever we go out to breakfast, it's grits. So yeah. But I do like me some biscuits and gravy though. Only if it's fresh. I can't reheat white gravy. The thought of reheating white gravy is like baby puke to me. Yet Lively moved forward in her plans with ruthless precision, doubling down on in the face of abundant evidence, casting doubt on the veracity of her story. The words here are carefully chosen. Like ruthless precision. The descriptors are just icing on the cake. We do need to make a low country boil though. I love me a low country boil. I don't even like shrimp and I still like me a low country boil. Lively even went so far as to serve her lawsuit on the Los Angeles-based defendants as they evacuated their homes in the midst of devastating fires engulfing their city. Oh, I don't quite agree with this, but this does invoke an emotion, and it's not a good one. On a day when the defendants were gathering their kids and pets, preparing go bags, and monitoring evacuation orders while fearing for their homes, Lively, from the safety of her penthouse in New York, deployed process of servers in the midst of these troubling times. At bottom, this is not a case about celebrities sniping at each other in the press. This is a case about two of the most powerful stars in the world deploying their enormous power to steal an entire film right out of the hands of its director and production studio. Then, when Lively and Reynolds' efforts failed to win them the acclaim that they believed they so richly deserved, they turned their fury on their chosen scapegoat, tolerating a year and a half of their behavior while remaining polite and professional at every turn, offered Baldoni, and I'm sorry, when it's your own client, spell his name right. Like, dude, proofread. I know if you have a problem proofreading 179 pages of documents, like, don't write 179 pages of documents. And I understand this is only, this is a lot, but it's just one of those things of like, that's your own client and you can't even get his name right. And Wayfair, no protection. Like I said, I like this style of writing. However, I call bullshit out when I see it. Proofread your shit. When you're a highly paid attorney, proofread your shit. Proofread your shit. Proofread your shit. Like, good morning, poor Marine. How are you? And you got my message yesterday, right? Like, I yeeted my Twitter. Is that cesspool? But I only had my Twitter because of this channel, and the only thing I ever posted there was this channel, and I'm like, meh, I don't need it. This whole case shows the wheels of justice are held on by lug nuts. Yeah, not even good ones either. Like lug nuts that I got at the dollar store. FBI adds ex-Olympic snowboarder to its 10 most wanted. Oh. By bringing this complaint, plaintiffs commit themselves to seeking and proving the facts based not on insinuations, but built from selectively edited and context-free snippets, but by putting all the evidence before the court and the public. When plaintiffs have their day in court, the jury will recognize that even the most powerful celebrity cannot bend the truth to her will. Baldoni and Wayfair purchased the rights to It Ends With Us. Baldoni co-founded Wayfair in 2019. From the beginning, Wayfair was dedicated to being a different kind of studio, one that produced world-class entertainment driven by a powerful vision for change. Fair enough. Baldoni, whose film career was dedicated to producing and directing meaningful films to have a positive impact on the world, was deeply moved when he read the book It Ends With Us and genuinely believed he could make a film that could save lives. Okay, I'm sorry. I have to insert my own personal opinion here, and y'all might agree with me. Y'all might disagree with me. That is fine. But Angel Studios is making movies that drive change. Baldoni, you're just a feminist simp. I don't like, let's get this clear. I don't like Justin Baldoni. So when I agree with some things that are in his lawsuit versus Blake Lively's, I don't like Justin Baldoni. I'm not a fan of his acting. I think he's a really shitty actor, but I'm also not a movie person. So that could be it too. Yeah. Angel Studios makes a difference. I don't know if Wayfair is that kind of person. This one, I'm not sure. I think I stole it from a company. I think they stole it from a different company, if you know what I mean. An online furniture company. But Angel Studios was named because they make a lot of films that they include their faith in a lot of their films. So Angel Studios makes sense. His last two films were created as a result of a deep sense of responsibility to share meaningful stories. Baldoni's feature film directorial debut, 5 Feet Apart, never heard of it, was based on a young woman, Claire Wineland, who lives with cystic fibrosis and courageously documented her plight on YouTube. Baldoni, his family and friends, developed a friendship with Claire, whose journey deeply inspired Baldoni. Before Claire passed away, Baldoni promised he would tell her story, and he did just that in the film he directed. The film had wide impact on the cystic fibrosis community, and Baldoni still receives messages about the film's impact. Baldoni also supports her foundation yearly and remained close with Claire's parents, even bringing her father as his guest to the premiere of It Ends With Us. Baldoni's more recent film was the Wayfarer film Clouds, a true story about a teenager with cancer, Zach Sobiek, who finds joyful purpose and inspiration in music. Okay, that is good work, fine, but why is that pertinent to this? Why is it pertinent to this? Like, this is something that you say in like the opening statements of a trial. There's a reason that these documents end up being hundreds of pages long, and it's because you put in crap that is not central to your point. Ugh. Sorry, it's like writing a law in Congress and it being 1,000 pages when it's like, no, the topic of the bill only is like 10 pages. And you could have easily said that in 10 pages, but you chose to put a bunch of crap in that's not related to the topic because. In pursuit of that same vision, this is just me ranting. In 2019, Wayfarer acquired the film rights to It Ends With Us, a Colleen Hoover novel published in 2016. Though positioned as a romance novel, the book explores themes of DV and generational patterns of abuse, and these messages resonated deeply with readers and drew a passionate fan base. In 2021, the novel exploded in popularity thanks to the social media phenomenon BookTok. Many fans expressed how important the book was to them as survivors of DV and intimate partner abuse. When It Ends With Us author Colleen Hoover watched 5 Feet Apart in theaters, she told Baldoni, "You are the right person to make this movie." Baldoni's early emails to Hoover demonstrate his commitment to doing it so in the manner he envisioned would be the most impactful. In fact, it was Hoover who suggested Baldoni portray Ryle. An email from Justin to Colleen. "Hello, Colleen. Thank you for the intro. Wow, it's such a pleasure to meet you. And thank you for being open to have me potentially option your book. Some quick backstories. My purpose and intention in this insane business are simple: create impact by making content that helps us remember our shared humanity, content that asks us to be better, to make the hard choice in the moment that one day our deathbeds will be grateful for. It's been a tough road, but an incredible one, as our industry doesn't often reward those of us trying to change culture." That's true. I don't disagree with him on that. I disagree with some of the positions he has, but that's neither here nor there. Luckily, it's the messages of those that watch the content that are the reward and the lives we have affected. Dude, affected. Affect. Fucking English. God, people buy Grammarly. "I've always believed the financial reward will come, but it's not the primary motivation. As Joanna may have told you, I am building and got funding for a company whose mission is to tell high-end, meaningful stories. And I just finished my first film with my second at Warner Brothers going this fall based on the short doc I directed 7 years ago. Also, if you'd like to see an early screening of 5 Feet Apart, I'm sure I can make that happen as well. Where are you based? Just wanted to say the reviews I've read for this book, the one that stood out to me and makes me so excited to potentially work with your fans. Your fans love you. What a gift you have." Oh. No, squids in. If you're going to act like you are better than people, don't be stupid. Oh my goodness. So my thing is if a person is going to act like they're smarter, better, stronger, whatever, it's like going to the gym and saying you can deadlift 400 pounds, but when you do it, you're like this. Like, or when you squat and you only go a quarter of the way down. It's like, no, if you're going to do it and you're going to say that you can do it right. Like, if you're going to act like you are so much better than a lot of people in your intentions and like your personality, don't make a stupid mistake that shows me that you're not smart. You're either not smart enough to know that it's affect, not effect. Like it's effect change. I'm going to affect someone. Don't either be stupid enough not to know that that's wrong to begin with, or not use grammar check, because there's spell check, but there's also grammar in Microsoft Word and most other programs. So you're either not smart enough to know the difference to begin with, and you're then not smart enough to use a grammar check. So like, I'm not in English teacher mode. I'm in, you're going to act like you're all high and mighty. Don't be stupid. Hey, Gabby, how are you? English people, words mean things. Hangers versus hangers. Like it's just, yeah. And we got about 7 minutes left. So I'm going to try to get through as much of this as possible. This is the, we're going to get through the rest of his email at least. And then, you know, of all the heroines I've ever read, Lily was most certainly one of those I admired the most. I knew loved her from the first few pages, but having finished the book, I truly couldn't be prouder of her. Her strength and conviction over the course of the story made her into a heroine that I'd want every girl and woman to read about and look up to. She was so real and vulnerable, as we all are, but the strength which she took control of her life was admirable on such a deep level. I just wanted to hug her and cheer. I don't think I've been this proud of a fictional character before. There is an incredibly powerful message in this book that's very subtly woven in from the start. It begins in the first chapter, but you don't yet realize how significant each of these moments truly are. And as you read more, these pieces of the story come together, forming a scenario that gives such a raw, honest portrayal of an incredibly relevant issue. I'm not mentioning it on purpose because I don't want you to expect it. The fact that it's unexpected for you as the reader is very important because it's also unexpected for the heroine. As she begins to realize what kind of situation she's in, so do you. And the realization is very much allows you to experience her journey with her. Yes, and please send over an ebook, but I also just purchased it on paperback as I like supporting authors. Looking forward, Justin. And then another one. I'm finally coming up with for air from the release of the film, but still shooting Jane for another 2 weeks. By the way, were you able to see it? Would love to know your thoughts. We actually started filming the final episode today. So crazy, so grateful. So I haven't been able to get It Ends With Us off my mind. Such an important story. So damn romantic and beautiful and tragic and hopeful. I always say that both art and in life, all the best stories are always two things at once. And this is so much of what your book is. Joy and pain, love and sorrow. You did such a beautiful job covering the most incredibly difficult subject matter and playing it out in a realistic and unforgettable way. But what I love most is the opportunity to let so many women feel seen on the screen via this particular story. I can't even imagine how many women there are who stuck in a relationship like this and via this story could find the strength to create a better life for themselves and for their children. There are so many opportunities to partner with organizations and create impact with a story like this. I love that you held nothing back from the pain of Lyle and Ryle's past. I hate the name Ryle. Sorry. It just doesn't, I don't know. But that's just me. That's my personal opinion. It has nothing to do with the story. I love that there are really no bad guys and that we are all the sons of our experiences and our trauma. I love the opportunity for narration and the stunning and gorgeous impact of the title payoff at the end. These are the kind of stories that change and save lives, and I believe this story in particular can continue to have a huge impact on the world. So if you will have me, I would love to option it from you. On a separate note, the screenplay for 5 Feet Apart was adapted into a novel and has been on the New York Times bestseller since before the release of the movie last month. I know you have your charity, and I would be happy to donate some of the signed copies for the bookworm box. Let me know what you think. Much love, Justin. Ugh. There's another one. Hooey. Effing Firefox crashed again. That's what you get for using Firefox. I'm not much gooder at grammar. Ugh. Yeah, but pretty sure that when you type a professional email or anything that's going to be seen as professional, you're smart enough to use spell check and or grammar check. Like, yeah, I feel like people are getting stupid with this AI and Grammarly stuff. Yeah. Yeah. I am not logged into Discord on my computer right now, and my phone is somewhere. I can hear my phone. I just can't see my phone, if you know what I mean. This is from Colleen to Justin. Thank you so much for the email. I wasn't expecting you to read it so quickly. I would love to talk with you more about the project. You get the book, and that's the most important thing to me. My big fear is that it'll option to someone who thinks it's a hot romance and they'll take it in the absolute wrong direction. I'm going to be upfront with you about a couple of things so you can decide if you want to move forward. I've sold several film options and I realize not all of them get made, and I'm okay with that. One of the film options was not a great experience. The producers, oh my goodness, started a fundraising campaign for the film without my knowledge or permission beforehand and ended up taking over $100,000 from my readers. The film was never made, my option was never paid, and I end up pulling the plug on the project, so the producers never refunded their readers their money. I felt terrible that my readers were the ones punished, so I mailed out $15,000 worth of free products to those who donated to their campaign. I want to be positive that crowdsourcing is not something that will be done when it comes to this film. It is important to me that a funding plan is in place that won't affect the supporters of this book. While that experience wasn't a positive one, I had a wonderful experience working with a producer on Confess. It was a 7-episode series that was picked up by Awestruck and Go90, but unfortunately, right before it released, Go90 declared they were shutting down. Because of that, Confess was released on an already defunct platform. Just a week before they were scheduled to shut down, luckily my readers got to watch it, so not all was lost. And the overall experience was so much fun and very surreal. I didn't really have a lot of involvement beyond reading the script and getting the dailies. I just handed it over to them and let them do their thing because I was immersed in other projects at the time. It Ends With Us is important to me, though. I would love more involvement on this film. I've actually been working on a script for it already, along with a producer friend of mine who lives in LA. Her name is redacted, and she is a very dear friend of mine and is a huge fan and supporter of this book. We sat down for a week and outlined last month, but I had to put a pause on it because I'm on deadline for this book I'm writing. We planned on picking it back up in 2 weeks and diving into it. Even though I'm the author, I believe I've been able to separate myself enough from the format of the book to know what would make the best setup for the film. While I do want to please the readers who have read this book, I understand the need to make a film that will equally touch those who haven't read the book. Are you based out of Los Angeles? Maybe we can meet and have a chat about our vision for the film to make sure we're on the same page. I'm based out of Texas, but I'm in LA a lot. Other than ensuring my readers won't be asked to donate to fundraising for a film and hope to have more involvement in the process when it comes to the script and production, I don't really have any other requests. I realize your experience with film far outweighs mine, and based on the magnificent adaptation you did of 5 Feet Apart, I'm confident you could do this book justice and that our visions will align. I've watched the film 2 nights ago and immediately started the book yesterday. Sometimes I like to do it backwards. I think you did a wonderful job, and even though I'm not finished with the book yet, I feel like the essence of it was captured beautifully through the film. I wrote a book where one of the characters suffers from CF, so I've done a lot of research on the subject and thought Rachel and you did such an amazing portrayal of what carriers of CF go through. In fact, our very first donation through the Bookworm Box to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation was we donated in honor to a child of one of my readers. His name redacted, and just an incredibly inspiring kid. Check out his video. It's actually funny you emailed me when you did. When the email came through on my phone, I was on your website browsing Wayfair. Loved the Me Too chat. Okay, that's enough rambling. I really do appreciate the email and appreciate you taking a chance on reading the book. My readers are so ready to support this book, and it has meant so much to so many of them. So naturally, I want them to be happy. I want them to bring an adaptation they'll be proud of. Did you happen to read the author's notes at the end of the novel? It's a quick read if you didn't get the chance to read it. My mother inspired this book, so maybe that's why I've been so hesitant to sell the rights to it in the past. I feel good about this, though. I feel good about you. I've seen your past work, your passion, and your love for humanity, and I honestly feel there's no one better for the project. Before I direct you to my agent, I just want to get your thoughts on the above. Thanks so much, Justin. I hope you and the family were able to get some vacation time in. Colleen. However this works out, I would love books for the bookstore. In fact, we just started YA box and would love to feature 5 Feet Apart in the subscription box. If there's a way we can buy a few hundred copies at cost. Everyone needs this book in their possession. Ugh. Hey, I love Apple products. My first computer was an Apple IIc in like 1987 or 88. Like, yeah. Grammarly is definitely, I've only used it a couple of times. Grammarly is definitely better than the lack of brain power that a lot of No. Yes. No. Fine. Girl, you are sassy today. Hey, why are we so sassy? No. We're not sassy? Okay, we're not sassy. After I get through this email, I'm going to call it a day. I have 2 iPhones, 2 iPads, be it one of the iPads was bought for her and the phone I inherited from my grandfather who passed away, because I figured when she wants my phone, I could just give her one that is set up for just, it's got her, like it's got parental controls on it, and it has time restrictions. So after certain times, certain apps won't work. So like after a certain time at night, she can't use YouTube anymore. She only gets access to her learning apps like Hooked on Phonics. So, jeez, I don't. Yeah, the only products I've ever had problems with my life, be it viruses, phones don't work, things break, is Apple or like Chrome products. Oh no. Wow. I just got a text message from somebody. Girl, we can't call Grandpa. We already talked to Grandpa. Okay? We'll talk to Grandpa later. Okay? We'll talk to Grandpa later. Let Mama finish reading this email and then we're going to go, okay? Ow. Oh. All right. From Colleen to Justin, have you given any thought to whether you would want an acting role in this? Say maybe Ryle. I could see it. So on that note, we are on page 16. We made it through 16 pages in just over an hour. That is awesome. All right. Y'all have an amazing day. I will see you tomorrow. We will probably do a Saturday morning update and do updates on all the little cases that don't really have a lot of information, plea deals in the works, people pleading certain ways. On that note, y'all have a great day. Let's see who's live, and we can go. Hi. You want to say bye to the people? Hi. Hi. Let's see who we should redirect to. Yeah. Who should we redirect to, baby girl? You choose. 3 Awesome Dogs is live, and Mo in the weekly roundup with Shizzy, Wiznut, and Mo. Let's do that one. Y'all have a great day. Tell Mo that I said hello and that I love her dearly. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Bye. You want to say bye? Bye. Bye. Bye, guys. See you.